Bam! That's how we start the Outer Worlds video. So welcome guys to BenchART. I'm for Classic, and today what we have in here is the Outer Worlds. This game it is developed by Obsidian and it is using Unreal Engine 4. So Obsidian, in case you don't know this group of developers, these are very good developers. These guys are the guys that were behind Fallout New Vegas. So I was really never a fan of Fallout, and to be honest I never played either Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3, but I have read throughout the internet every time, and most of the people did prefer Fallout New Vegas than Fallout 3, and Obsidian was the developers behind New Vegas, despite, yes, Fallout belongs to Bethesda, and most of the Fallout games are developed by the Bethesda themselves. The New Vegas it wasn't, and for most of the people it was a far superior game than the other Fallouts. But of course there are always some people that disagrees. So they decide to separate from Bethesda and they decide to develop their own RPG. So it contains a lot of stuff that feels that Fallout in a different world, in the kind of a Borderlands world. But that's it. I will explain a little bit further. So first of all, the settings. So I'm playing the game at 720p, 60% of resolution scaling, and all the settings are at minimum. So the requirements are a little bit higher than what we have in here. So they ask for an i3 3000 series, 4 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 650 Ti. Despite it looks like it doesn't seem to demand that much, the reality is that the game is actually a little bit demanding. So with these settings, with 60% resolution scaling, what I got was an average of 32 with a 1% low of 23. So the experience, as you can see, it was something between the 20s to 40 frames per second depending on the areas. What I noticed the biggest hit in performance is when you hide on the grass, you can see some sort of a transparency effect, and that transparency effect really punishes the system. I saw this in another game before. I think it was Sniper Elite 4 that contained this issue, and in this game it is pretty much the same thing. As soon as you start to go under the grass or inside the grass crouched, what you get is a very big penalty in performance. Unfortunately, visually, despite this game looks good, yeah, it's an Unreal Engine 4 game, the fact that we are using 60% of resolution scaling really destroys the sharpness of the image. Sometimes at some sort of medium distance or something, it's really hard to look. It feels like you need glasses or something to understand what hell you are seeing in front of you. I tried to access the config files of the game, and I actually disabled the anti-aliasing there. I saved the file, but unfortunately as soon as I entered the game all the things did revert. Even if I put the file to read only, the game seems to forces you to always use TAA. So using low resolutions like we are using in here, it forces you TAA whatever or not, and so it looks all very blurry. So in case you don't really want this experience, this very blurry experience, well, you will have a hard time basically. So about the game itself, like I was telling you, this is pretty much it feels like a Fallout game inside the Borderlands world, kind of. And some of the people says that it mixes up a little bit of the BioWare roots too. For example, Dragon Age, so it mixes up Dragon Age with Fallout and brings up in front the visuals of some sort of Borderlands color palette, so it's kind of a fun game. And the scores for now, it seems to be something between 80 to 90%, so it's not those great games, but it is a very competent RPG and many people are really satisfied with the game. Unfortunately for us, the game it is not available on Steam. It is an Epic Store exclusive, at least until probably next year. But for now the game costs $59.99 on Epic Store, so it's a full price game. But if you go to the description of the video, you will find a slightly discount there on the first link for Greenman Gaming. Greenman Gaming, it is actually selling the game for $53.39. It's slightly cheaper. It is an 11% discount. It is not a big discount. but still I think it is worth it, since if you decide to buy the game and you go to Epic Store to buy through $59.99, there is no reason to do that, because if you buy through Greenman Gaming, you will get that 11% discount. You will receive the key in your email and you activate through Epic Store. So yeah, unfortunately for now the game can only be activated through Epic Store, wherever the place you will buy it. So that's disappointing for now, at least until next year. That's what you get, pretty much. So I guess that's all that I want to talk about the Outer Worlds. Hope you did enjoy the video so far. I will have a little bit of a chat with the computer in here, an artificial intelligence from this chip, and I will travel until the first city that you encounter to see if the game performs worse or something like that. Alright, so guys, that's all. Hope you can enjoy the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Unauthorized access of spacefaring. Hello. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. Jettison procedures initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarding parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand? Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. I'm afraid we gotta dock your pay. Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
find you!
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from?
Heard something outside the walls today.
Nothing for us.
Wonder if the plague's ever gonna pass.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one comes out of your pay.
Ease off the threats, friend. I'm going.
Boss's orders.